Everyone, it's your boy Matt. It's the 27th of February 2026, and this is Taco Admin. So, first of all, I need all of my videos on my channel. I need people to download them, and it can't be on your phone if you've got YouTube Premium. It needs to be through a YouTube downloader, and I need you to keep those files on your computer. And I want you to upload those videos to other platforms, okay? As many platforms as possible, in as many different ways as possible. And we're doing this because we want to be able to make sure that there is something of me on the internet, because it's very likely that all my content's going to be taken down soon. I've just like, I can't, just like, I'm really fucked up, gentlemen. I have been very, there's a level of continued abuse which occurs over a sustained period of time, which results in a reduction in capacity. And I have a lot less capacity now than I did 2 years ago across a host of different domains. Uh, like the way I'm behaving, like just basic things like eating and that, like it's at a preparing food, organizing my day. I can't do it anymore because I've been institutionalized. And it's not a simple reduction in capacity just like that. It's also a result of the continued indirect bastardization. So I can't have a calendar. I can't use the aids to organize my time. I cannot attend job interviews because then I will be abused by people at the other side of the table. And the result of all these things has been a reduction in overall capacity. I'm like, I can do my psychology stuff, but you're looking at like, this is what happens when you are bastardized by evil people. Now, it's very unlikely that I'm going to be able to return to a normal life now. Um, just, I've really, I've discussed the other options with that, and I don't need to discuss those again. But the amount of what has been taken from me at this point makes me wonder what I really want anymore. And I don't really see, like, I was hoping that, seeing as I had done all this amazing stuff, there would be support given to me by the community, but it hasn't eventuated. And I'm not really, I've kind of just had to accept that I'm going to have to choose between the current set of circumstances I'm in, a situation, or a continuation of this bastardization. This process began when I was 19 years old, when I was bastardized at the Naval College. And the nature of these people is terrible. When I came back to Canberra, one of the men who bastardized me as a kid re-entered my community again, and the process continued through him, as well as these other arms of military and these things. And it's this people group who are doing it. They are bad people. These are bad men, and the result of it will be that I do not get to have the same life or a normal life such as other people, and I can spend my time constantly trying to work and enjoying the little things, but it's not possible for me to even go and hang out with a group of friends or anything like that. It's not possible for me to go to a job interview. It's not possible for me to engage in any aspect of normal life because of the continued bastardization by these people. And again, my hope was I'd be able to use my influence, I'd be able to show what's happened to me, and I'd be able to show what I've contributed to the community, and then I would then receive support from the community. I really needed to have been VOC rehabbed when the initial decrease in capacity occurred. But even then, that wouldn't fix my problems. The problem has been the bastardization. The problem has been involvement in a community which is fascist. And if you live under fascism, there are going to be people in my situation. Sometimes it's the Jews, sometimes it's the Muslims. But when you live in a community, and I've lived in a subculture, I've lived in the military culture, I've lived in the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu culture, which has similar cultural problems. When you live in that society, what is offered to you in the life you can have is defined by the structure of that society. And the structure of that society is such that I am stunted permanently, and I cannot get up from where I am, and I'm not going to continue like this. I have requested help from the people in the psychology community who are meant to be my friends and my colleagues to help me out of this situation. In this kind of situation, you talk to your friends and they'll give you a job or something. They haven't done that. Like they've tried to do passive aggressive things over Facebook, but like it's been a horrific experience, and I've just had to accept that this is it. I can't really keep stumbling forward anymore, and it's never ever said as a final thing. Like I've done my stuff. Like, you know, it's not. I know my therapy stuff. I live acceptance and commitment therapy. I don't just preach it. I do practice it. But it's one of the printouts of a handout that I wrote for it. Very famously wrote for it using and this is the only handout I've ever made which used ChatGPT. I did have to use ChatGPT when I was working for Donald Macaskill because there was no one in his company who could teach me how to write behavior support plans. Never used it for any of my reports at Care Squared Kids or any of those BSPs. It's a totally valid tool. From now into the future, the same way that we use Google to when we forget something and we need to just check up on something, ChatGPT is just going to be part of therapeutic practice. You need to know your work and go through your textbooks, but it is a tool, and it's something that we should always use. And you're an idiot not to use something as powerful as that. If you're not using it, it's out of pride or pretentiousness. There are contexts and situations where you shouldn't, of course, but it's just boomer bullshit with the hatred towards it. But there is no issue. But I'm done, and we're just kind of enjoying what I have for what period of time I'd like to is what I've got. I've been able to find a way to make the best of my horrific situation and get along. But the deprivation of all human dignity, the inability to have just a conversation with a person without it being a part of someone else's behavior support plan, the constant harassment and abuse by the police and different government agencies, and the inability for me to access legal protections whilst living in a subculture which is fascist and requires a bastard for it to function, has been a truly horrific place to be. And I will not ever be the same again. I can go through all the stuff in acceptance and commitment therapy around that, but the perpetuating factors are the problem. And I'm part of a community which requires a bastard, and my place has been made to be that bastard so the rest of that social structure can function. And I'm not it's not a life which is worth living, and to bear it so as well as I have has been a show of immense strength and moral character. And the benefit the community has received as a result of it has been far more than they will ever acknowledge or repay. And it's because even polite society is still it has all the same sinister undertones as fascism, just to a less extent. There's still the frustrations of hierarchy. There's still the frustrations when someone has exceeded further and contributed more, and people feel resentful about it. And I have learnt that I will not be cared for when I'm sick. I will not be cared for by my peers who claim to be my friends when I'm down, and I will have to live in a perpetual state of social exclusion and isolation for the rest of my life until there is no life left. And this is not acceptable to me, so I'm not going to continue participating in this game. And that is unfortunately just how things are for some people. Again, our life is not determined by us, it's determined by the people around us. And if you are born into a culture or subculture, or have lived your life and the trajectory of your life is sort of determined by that. There are some illusions that this self-made man bullshit thing in the fascist communities, they have to have this concept of individual responsibility and individual success to be able to function. And of course that self-accountability is important if we're going to have people doing anything which is constructive. But you have looked at the darkest side of this in my case, and I think my life at the very least is a lesson and a social story in that, and that's how I'd want people to remember it. Have a good day, everyone.